Catfishing has become a tool for murder, the murder of innocent men. Now, this gentleman here, his name is Alexander Cashford. He's a middle-aged man who flirted with a teen girl who was of age. And though that teen girl decided to lure him into a trap and where she gets her male thugs to attack him, and he died from that attack. Now, this young lady was 16 years old, so she was not a child. This man is not a pedophile. And yet look how the Daily Mail frames it, even while admitting their ages. They call this man a pedophile. Now, we live in a place where when women are banging teenage boys, they have to be caught. They have to be brought to trial. They have to be proven to be guilty. And they're simply incarcerated. They are not tracked down in the middle of the street and beaten to death. So this has nothing to do with justice, right? Now, here, a moment a teenager launched a bottle attack on a man who was branded a pedophile and beaten to death with rocks. It's been shown in court. Fortunately, there was video of this, because without video, this man would have died with the pedophile, label branded to his grave. The three teenagers, 16-year-old girl and two boys, 15 and 16, are accused of murdering him after they allegedly lured him there to meet the girl. What's with the allegedly? They did. But anyway, this is something you guys got to watch out. The girl is 16 years old. The age of consent in UK is 16. So she's a young woman. But if you ask Google, sexist, feminist Google, they'll switch things up. Look how they say it. They say there's a 16-year-old boy. But, okay, there was a teenage girl and two boys, age 14 and 15. Now, let's say one of the boys is 16. So the girl, according to this, would have to be either 14 or 15. In other words, they're lowering the age to say she was underaged. So you've got to watch out for feminist AI. But anyway, we'll get into the meat of this. All three children, see, they're calling them children. They're not children. Two of them are young adults. So this is a disgusting hit piece who traveled to the seaside resort from London to a holiday to deny the murder charges against him. But the 16-year-old boy today admitted to the lesser charge of manslaughter. It's not manslaughter. This was premeditated. This was not an act of passion. Again, guys, by the way, I want to emphasize this guy didn't do anything criminal, either legally or morally. If middle-aged men want to hit on teen girls, let them go. As long as they're of age, they haven't done anything wrong. Fact. Now, the Crown heard he was seen throwing a large boulder at Mr. Cashford's apparently lifeless body. See, so these guys hit this guy over the head with a bottle. It must have, caused some internal bleeding because he ran away. He ran for his life. But they must have caught up with him. He probably got drowsy and fell unconscious. And they beat him while he was lying unconscious. They murdered this man. They stoned him to death, right? The jury was shown footage filmed by a girl on the evening of Mr. Cashford's death. See, the girl, she was the one who was planned all this, right? And this is It's so typical. What women do is they get their male thugs to do their dirty work for them. And then when things go south, they say, "Oh, I'm just a girl. I was just there. I didn't tell them to do any of this. Matter of fact, they scared me. They threatened me. These women, these girls, they always turn on the guys who did their bidding. I was scared of these boys. They forced me to do this." Right? Now, let's see. There was an unwavering enthusiasm for the adventure, which could be heard in her shrieks as she recorded the attack. She was getting off on this. And by the way, guys, there's two things going on. This is innate and it's learned. People have an innate hate for men. Because again, when these women are found guilty, they're put through a process. They aren't lynched. But men, people want to harm men. But also, this is learned because these young people grew up in the feminist shithole that's called the UK. And they've been taught that men are targets and boys are even targets. They believed they could call this man a pedophile and therefore murder him and be cheered on for it. Right? Now, let's see. I'll get into any other details. Oh, look, here it is here, right? She said the footage was undoubtedly planned to be evidence for their successful hunt, right? So this is exactly what men are. Men are prey. Men and boys are prey in England. That's what it was. This is a premeditated murder, period. Now let's see if there's any other detail. Oh, this is another thing I want to point out, guys. The 49-year-old electrician trips and falls, right? He's an electrician. So he's a vital part of society. We need electricians. Didn't change anything, did it? So all you guys who think if I do everything right and I might make myself useful to society, I'll be protected. No, you'll be lynched just like the rest of us. Society is willing to sacrifice useful men to feed the hatred. I want you to know that. The prosecutor in the case let's see, the prosecution case is that all three defendants were acting together, with each of them sharing at least an intent to cause serious bodily injury to Mr. Cashford. Now, notice it wasn't a case of they hit him in the head and he ran away. They could have ended it there and been successful. They could have made their lie and said, this guy's a pedophile, which he isn't. And he showed up and we beat on him. Right? They could have left it at that. No, they wanted this man dead. That's why they chased after him and threw rocks at his dead body. They were beating on his corpse. Right? The victim was later found dead with multiple injuries. A post-mortem examination showed he had injuries to his face and head, bruises on his limbs and bodies, and multiple fractured ribs that punctured his lungs. So when they hit him in the head, it must have knocked him unconscious, and then they went to work on his unconscious body. Look at this. A witness on holiday in the area described seeing the 16-year-old boy smirking like he had just won a candy out of the candy shop. See, so this is not an act of passion. These people are not angry. They don't believe this man has done anything wrong. They found a victim. That's what they did. They saw him as a victim. And that's what the pedophile label for men is about. It's a label to say, we can murder him. It's like incel, right? They're labels used to demonize or dehumanize a man. So it's safe for you to cause him harm. Now, look, Cashford met the girl by chance at an arcade in the seaside resort 2 days earlier. He gave her a business card that had his phone number on it. Big mistake. Now, this young woman, she didn't throw it back in his face, say, I'm not interested in you, old man, did she? So there's nothing to suggest that this woman didn't want anything to do with him. Right? The 16-year-old boy saved it in his phone as pedo, and over the next 2 days, around 75 messages were exchanged. So this is planned for several days, right? With Mr. Cashford believing he was talking to a 16-year-old girl called Sienna. He claimed to be 30, so he lied about his age, you know, and asked her if she liked champagne and said he wanted to kiss her. All right. So he was taking his chance, right? Right. So they lured him, right? Let's see. They were so outraged by his interest in Sienna that they deliberately planned to attack him. They weren't outraged because the boy was smirking, as he said, when he was beating him. That's a lie. And frankly, there's no reason for them outraged. Just tell them to piss off and that's it. The girl allegedly shouted, fucking pedophile. I'm a fucking 16-year-old. Get him. Now, the young girl, she's a young woman. She knows she's of consent. She's of the age of consent. So, again, the pedophile label is used to dehumanize the person to allow you to kill him. It's to strip us of our rights with a simple word. Now, again, guys, I'm going to end off saying men are innately hated, and society is setting it up so we are being taught to be hated on top of it. Again, when women commit these crimes, actually, this man didn't commit a crime, remember? This woman of this age, but women actually bang, underage boys. They have to be found out. They have to be put through a process. They have to be proven to be guilty, and then they're punished appropriately. Men just have to be given this false label, lied about, and we get lynched. So this injustice has to be addressed. That's what this MRA channel is for. We don't do something, it's only going to get worse. Not that it needs to be any worse.